The kind of colors that a single voice can create throughout all sorts of different ranges is vastly different for the voice than for a violin or a clarinet.
There's nothing like C&V where you learn how to write for every major different vocal category.
It's a streamlined workshop process going systematically through each operatic voice type.
But within that, Kelly's trying to shape those 16th.
I came right out of college. I was writing for my fellow students, and being in this program, I felt like a kid in a candy store.
I fell in love with like the kind of work that singers do, and to really get to know singers and to really have an immense respect, a kind of awe for singers.
I think I'm gonna try to be. I'm gonna like try to be do what's on the page, but try to also let myself.
When we start each year, we're meeting 6 new composers, 2 or 3 new librettists, sometimes new singers. It's a new family that I'm going to learn about so immensely over the course of a year, of 2 years.
Being able to workshop within a community enables you to fast track your comprehension of why something is working and why it isn't.
AOP is a kind of place to fail and a place to try things and to have it work or not work.
My skill set has increased exponentially, and also my relationship with my operatic composer community has also increased.
I see the sea waving her salt sea goodbyes, and soundless colors rush to take me. With C&V, it was the first time I'd been put in a space where I felt like my talents as a librettist and a lyricist were being encouraged and being cultivated and nurtured and recognized.
We could probably look back at each, look at a little era of composers in the voice and see 2, 3, 4 people who have gone on to be creating pieces that are now part of the contemporary canon. Here we are 20 years later, and we see that the table is set up for another 20, 30, 40, 50 years of this.
I'm Elena Ferris.
My name is Clint Berzoni.
My name is Jonathan Douglas Turner.
I'm Joseph Rubinstein.
I'm Greg Spears. I'm a composer.
I'm a composer.
Those songs from that time, I was experimenting with all the ranges of the voice. That was just so fascinating, being able to write for these incredible singers. It's like having Stradivarius. I'll write for that instrument. It was really fulfilling as a composer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mila Henry, Artistic Director of the American Opera Project, and I'm excited to welcome you to our first Glimpse Watch Party, the digital premiere of songs written by the composers and librettists in Cycle 11 of our Composers and the Voice training program. Tonight, you'll witness 9 of the songs that premiered at our live concert this past May, performed by members of our 2021-23 roster of C&V resident singers and music directors. Each song you'll hear tonight was written especially for the voice you're hearing and the singer behind it, and you'll also hear a short introduction before each song by the composer and librettist that created it. We'll also be releasing 8 other songs from the concert over the next week, and invite you to stay tuned to aopopera.org to hear even more from this fantastic group of composer and librettist fellows. Please keep watching after the last song tonight, since we'll have a brief post-show conversation with some of our artists that will give a little more insight into the Composers and the Voice process, as well as what's coming up next in the program. Thank you for being here, and now here is Final Sight, the first song in tonight's program of First Glimpse.
Hello, สวัสดีค่ะ. My name is Titaya Sinutuk. I am a composer and I had the privilege to write this song Final Sight with the amazing Troy Defoe.
In Final Sight, it is 1816, and there was a 3-day war of a group of slaves who overthrew planters and revolted. Slaves were disgusted with being treated like cattle and were finally fed up. So they overthrew all the planters on the island and set the sugarcane fields to fire. So what we are seeing here is a man named Bussa, who was one of the slave leaders, standing atop a hill looking down onto the island as he is seeing the end of this war and seeing all the damage that's been caused to get freedom.
Here's Kofi Hayford performing Final Sight.
Tonight Hello, my name is Gabrielle Herbst, and my piece is called Ave Maria. Ave Maria is a hymn or prayer of mourning to those we've loved and lost. I tried to create a space of beauty and serenity with the music, even though the content is heavy and internal. And I did this by having a simple piano part play undulating cloud-like chords with a vocal melody that's rich with human emotion soaring on top. The piece was written specifically for Max Potter's beautiful voice, and I'm excited for you to hear it. Thanks so much.
My name is Anya Wu, and you're about to hear my song Clocks and Metronomes, which comes from the very first scene of my opera Through the Doors. The song is about a father who, once a watchmaker, became a metronome maker because he believes that music has the power to control time. So now he's working on building a time machine made out of metronomes. I wrote the story with my friend Modesta Gorol, who is a Polish graphic designer, and she will be designing the background visuals of the production. And after we built the story, I wrote the libretto and the music. I hope you will also check out 2 other songs that I wrote in the coming weeks. One of them is called Here Alive, with text by Jisun Choi, and the other one is called In Front of a New York Hotel, with words by Isabella Dawes. So happy listening!
Clocks tick-tock at the same rate. Metronomes click-clock at the rate you dictate. They stretch or shrink, seconds of a clock, the in-between of a tick and a tock. Odessa, have you ever lost track of how long a second lasts when hearing a sound? Whether angular or round, restless or static, bitter or sweet, sooner or later, it will control the rate of your heartbeat. They tick and clock and drop and tick and clock and tick and click and talk. They talk about time that doesn't exist. They talk about time that couldn't exist. My watches and clocks used to tick-tock, but never in sync. If one would be late, the rest wouldn't wait. Some would accelerate, others recalibrate, and at least one, if not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, would collapse or take a break. But time would go on. That crisp sound, precision, impeccably timed coordination would simply be gone. So from a lousy watchmaker, I became the world's first metronome maker. For music holds a magical power, the power to control time, or perception of time, same thing. My ultimate dream is to enable time travel all around, only by using metronome sounds. You might think, what a freaky, delusional crime, but hear me out. It is bound to happen this time.
Hi, my name is Isabella Dawes, and I am the librettist for Andromeda, with music by J.E. parentheses Jose Hernandez. Jose sent me this really cool sci-fi novel called Andromeda Nebula by Ivan Yefremov. And I just flipped it open to one of the chapters, and I read right away that it was about this character taking in this musical performance, a kind of synesthesia type experience, because it's a futuristic novel. So it's a symphony, but it also involves colors and images and these really vivid sensations. And it clearly leads this character to have a kind of life epiphany and to totally change the course of their life and to follow their passion, which is, in this character's case, to explore the cosmos. And I just thought, what a cool moment in this story to dramatize and to make into a song. So that's how Andromeda was born.
Hello, my name's Raquel, and I can't thank you all enough for being here to witness and celebrate really the collaborations that have taken place over the course of many months throughout this 21-22 season. And I think what I would like to kind of quickly share on part of, or on behalf of the composers and librettists here is that on top of being able to really live in this world, this wonderful opportunity of learning about the voice and learning how to write for the voice, it feels like this wonderful symbiosis between both the music directors, our teachers and guests that have come into the program, and very much so the singers, the vocalists, who have offered so much of themselves, not just their professional prowess as singers, but really this articulate nature through which they talk about their voice. And being a singer myself, it's really nice to witness those who have that instrument in their body be able to talk so articulately about how it functions, so that we as the composers can interpret that language and be able to bring something back to them. So it's very much, feels like a wonderful reciprocation, and for that I'm super grateful to AOP and to Composers of the Voice for really giving us this unique opportunity to do that.
Contemplating jazz on tenement rooftops, dreaming night after night of heaven's angels. Where do I go now? Where do I hide? Where do I go now? What will I find? I'm stuck, motionless inside, hollow wide and high, in supernatural darkness. I'm lost, disappeared inside, nothing left behind but scattered ash and shadows. Where do I go now? Where do I hide? Where do I go now? What will I find? I'm chained to the subway for an endless ride without
Paul, for those who don't know me. I'm very excited to be here at Posters from Voice. Was just saying outside to some friends that I think one of the great takeaways from the program has been the deadline to write something every month, and like the knowledge that it will be shared with a safe group of friends, so the experimentation could happen without the idea that it needs to be for public, for career, or whatever. But that part of development was really, really great. So thank you for all that, and thank you to the singers for being part of that. Herzog, which imagines a phone call with Oskinsky by our girlfriend and mine, Werner. So I hope you enjoyed the program. Thanks for being here.
I piss on your arrangements, Klaus. You wanted your movie, but I made my movie, and I made more money than God. Piss on your arrangements, Klaus. You wanted your movie, but I made my movie, and I made more money than God. I piss on your
Hello, I'm Jisun Choi, the librettist for Jasmine. Paul and I collaborated on this song for the wonderful soprano Jasmine Mohammed, and we're very excited to present this song. It is about a woman who is speaking with her childhood friend who had long since moved away from their humble origins. In this aria, she offers back the old memories and the flowers that her friend left behind. I've purposely kept the text to this aria simple and direct to highlight the music and the emotional journey that the character goes through. I've found that sometimes things simply said are the most affecting. So here is the aria, Jasmine.
We play
Hello, my name is Gabrielle Herbst, and the next piece you're about to hear is called A Few Candles, composed by me with libretto by Isabella Dowis. A Few Candles explores the psychological effects of climate change. It was inspired by a New York Times article that Isabella sent to me.
It was an article about climate change and its psychological effects, and how therapists and mental health professionals are dealing with climate change induced anxiety and worries and depression. And so as writers, we thought this would be a great opportunity to deliver the same message, but through art and through a song.
In the music, I am trying to create an internal and intimate space where it feels like we're in the inside of this character's head. He is at his niece's birthday party, looking at the candles on her cake and watching the flames while thinking about her future. This piece was written specifically for Kofi Hayford and his beautiful voice, and I really love the way he's interpreted this music.
I was at my niece's birthday party. I was at my niece's birthday party. I was at my niece's birthday party. We
This piece is titled The Other Side. This is a character who has been dealing with drug addiction, and in this aria, we have someone who's come to a rehab center and is being checked in, but they're battling back and forth with the thoughts in their mind, the devil on their shoulder, the angel on their shoulder, all as they lead down to that doorknob walking into the treatment and rehab center and starting therapy.
If I feel torn inside, but if I feel decayed outside, who will heal my heart? Only me, only me, only me. It's only a few scattered glass shards. Maybe a pole or two got knocked down. I swear I was signaling, but I guess I didn't see the first fall. The urban planning system formulas make no sense. But a pole on a sidewalk. Walk, I gotta call someone to walk my dog. If I'm gonna be here for a week, my mother spent a week in Jamaica on vacation before she died. Did you say you had a dog just now? Taking in my soul, pulsing, carving me out all. Who can bless my bruise? Only me, only me, only me. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, that scene where they all walk down the black and white hallway sort of feels like this place, but without the walls that are black and white. All about Eve was on last night before I came. Not came as in masturbating, but before I arrived here. Sorry, I interrupted you. What kind of dog was it again? Do you know where my mom can buy our dog vegetarian food? This door handle feels like mine.
Wow, thank you for taking us to the other side, Aaron, Kelly, Jose, and Troy. And thank you to all of you out there for joining us tonight. As you saw in the chat earlier, we had a limited audience in May due to COVID restrictions. And so it's really great to share this program or some of this program with a wider audience tonight. So please stay tuned. Now we're going to bring up some of our artists on screen. I know we have Gabriel Herbst, Max Potter, Anya Vu, and Jose Hernandez. And we're slowly going to bring them up one by one in our magical room here and chat a little bit about CNV and what's happened thus far and what's coming up next. And Paul Pinto. Let's see who else is in the room. All right. And I think Steve might be joining us. We'll see, as well as Matt Gray. But right now, it's sort of like we're playing Guess Who on live on TV. So hi, everybody. How's it going? Oh, we've got more. There's Matt. Great. All right. Okay, I'll keep talking. So thanks for being here tonight. How was the experience, no pun intended, but on the other side of the performance and as a viewer and an audience member? Anyone can chime in. Otherwise, we're just going to have to listen to the sound of my own voice.
I'll just say that, I mean, I think all of us, we are listening to this program probably for the third time now, because there were 2 iterations of the concerts, and yeah. I have to say I'm engaged with every song every time, and so yeah, it was a very nice experience to hear all of this again.
Excellent. I know, it sort of took me back to the great room. Quite literally. Anybody else? JE/Jose.
Yes, Jose to everyone in here. Yeah, you know, like with enough distance, it's always fascinating to see how the works change, at least like the way that I perceive them, whether it's something I've written or something someone else has written. It's just a thrill. That was so fun. I really, you know, theme aside, like it was it was just so enjoyable. I always have such a blast listening to everyone's works and everyone sing beautiful voices. Beautiful.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show.
It was exciting to hear all those pieces again. And you know what? I just am so drawn back into how everybody's writing for each of these voices just grows and blossoms over the course of the year. And I hear in each of the pieces that we just experienced, the way that each of you have figured out how to really stretch the voice, navigate them through all sorts of acrobatics, and yet have it seem so kind of elegant and really in many ways effortless. Even Paul, what you did with Aaron there was an effortlessness about that piece as well, which is just so exciting to see.
All right, so for those of everyone watching who don't really know about the whole process of composing the voice, Paul, why don't you talk a little bit about how it started? Like, what was that first day like?
Oh, yeah. I remember kind of more of like scheduling. That was what the first day was like, but kind of like meet and greet everyone, kind of figure out what we were getting into and what people's backgrounds were, where they were coming from. A lot of us were performers in some kind as well, so it was like nice to see what people's experience was with that. And this group of composers and librettists got together, shared work that was exciting, things that we were working on, things that kind of motivated us. And then Mila, Steve, and Matt kind of explained a little bit about the program, some highlights of the things that I don't remember from the first day, but some of the highlights from the early stages was I remember some of the early like libretto analyses of like classic opera and just going through and just being like, well, what is like this classic character sing? Like, what's every word that they sing from beginning or end?
beginning to the end of the piece, and like that kind of like looking at it with magnifying glass at those like great classic rolls. That was like really enjoyable part of our early learning experience. Yeah, someone else take over.
Well, Max, why don't you tell us a little bit about, the other side of that learning experience and kind of your role as a singer and explaining, about the voice. And I know you're representing all 6 of our singers, so no pressure, but give us a little insight into that.
So we started the sessions by offering like 3 or 4 pieces that we felt we sang really well, and showed our voice and what it did at its best to kind of introduce our voices to the composers and librettists. And from there, they started building pieces for us around what they heard. And so one of the coolest parts of this is to get a new piece that is written just for your voice, and then come in and talk about, why it works and where there are things that like you would be more comfortable being adjusted, or like if you could take more time on a high note, or maybe you want a different vowel in a certain part of your instrument, and for me, the thing I learned listening to my colleague singers also that was really cool is how all of our voices function differently and want and need different things. And to see how the composers kind of took that information in and synthesized it, and then how it changed throughout the year was really amazing. And I feel like I came out, especially with the pieces I was able to sing on the recital, with amazing songs that are literally custom just to my instrument, and that's amazing.
So tonight we featured a piece for you that was written for you by Gabrielle. Do you want to just talk about a little bit more about specifically about that, the creation of Ave Maria?
Do you want to start, Gabby?
Hi, yeah, sure. Yeah, this was just such a great pleasure to write for Max. As soon as I heard her voice, like we were describing in that performance that we were all so lucky to hear of all of the singers performing different pieces for us, I really fell in love with her voice and with kind of the depth and beauty and drama that she brings. It's just so stunning. And so, yeah, I was just really excited to write for her. And I think this really sort of intense, emotional, deep piece came out for Max in mind. And it was exciting to kind of know her and be able to email her and ask her questions as I was writing it, and after I've written a draft, and ask her, how does this feel? How does this work? And yeah, it was just a really amazing experience being able to have that dialogue as I was composing the piece.
Yeah, and there were definitely moments like we had discussions about range, because originally this piece had a low E in it. And while that is like, for instance, something that is in my range, it's not something I can like use all the time. And so having that discussion about where to use it and when to use it and like what color that brings was really cool and informative. For me, even using my own instrument. So
yeah, it definitely felt like a real collaboration in this way, which I think is so special, because like often as composers, we're sort of behind the scenes writing this music, and then we get to hear it briefly, and then, and then we have a recording. But in this case, we really got to like workshop and get to know the people that we're writing for. And that is such a meaningful part of the process. So really, really special. And then our like relationship continues, which is so great. Yeah. And now I'm writing more for Max. And so it's perfect.
Gabby, that's such a great segue. How is it continuing?
Oh, well, yeah. So we have an exciting performance in January where all of us are composing a scene or series of scenes of an opera. So a big project for all of us. And yeah, everyone's doing very different work, and I'm so excited to hear everybody's pieces.
And just a reminder to everyone who may have missed this at the top. So this was only a few of the songs in the entire First Glimpse concert. The rest are going to be released over the next 10 days. And on AOP's YouTube page and Vimeo. and you'll be able to hear Max sing songs by Jose and Anya here. Those will be released online. Do you want to talk quickly about those two pieces? We're talking about Here Alive and Imagine This Ruin.
Yeah, sure. So I could talk about Imagine This Ruin. So part of the CND program is getting a series of different challenges to push your writing a certain direction, which, at least for me in Imagine This Ruin, it was 4 lines. And this was one of the few times where I wrote the text. And it was a great challenge. I really enjoyed trying to work with such a minimal amount of material. And like Gabrielle mentioned, working with Max, it's a beautiful instrument. And I really wanted to, get it somewhere to where I thought it would be beautiful. It would sing, it would sound great. And I explored a very deeply emotional subject. And I tried to bring that through because and Max, your voice does that. It's just so, it's like this power. And that's Imagine This Ruin. There's not really a whole lot more I can say about it. Like, the music sort of speaks for itself, and Max's singing speaks for itself more than anything. It was just a great experience to write that. And the challenge was amazing. I don't enjoy writing my text very often. I really enjoy working with librettists and other sources of text, but this was one time where I thought, wow, that really worked. And again, I wouldn't have known that was possible had I not been challenged in that way.
Anya, tell us about Here Alive.
Sure. So Here Alive was a collaboration between me and Ji-Sun Choi, who is not here, but she's one of the 3 librettists. And the text actually comes from her pre-existing play. And she first sent me the text, and then there was a lot of back and forth, and she ended up, I think, making some adjustments for it to be sung. And so it was really nice to go through that collaborative process, with the librettist, and then later on with Max. I remember during the workshop, I think I wrote too many low notes, and the range was really low for a long time. And it was good to hear Max's perspective and reasoning behind I think even later on we were still working through picking the right register, what serves best the drama, but also what sounds comfortable. So yeah, it was really cool to again have that kind of collaboration. So I don't know if Max has anything to add, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because as a singer, we work alone a lot. Sometimes we're in a practice room by ourselves, and being in the position of having to say, well, this is why this doesn't work here, or this is why this works really well here in my instrument, and explain it to someone in a way that they can actually produce something out of that information is very informative for me as an artist as well. And having those conversations, I think I not only learned more about how to communicate with composers, which I love because I love singing new music, but also I learned a lot about my own instrument and how to put into words how it works and what it does. And again, these collaborations, also Paul as well, have opened my mind in terms of what I can do with my instrument, and also opened my mind to all of these cool projects that are possible with these amazing composers and librettists, which is very exciting.
Yeah, so in the next few days, we're also going to get this crazy collaboration by Paul called Loop Aria. Paul, tell us what people are gonna expect with that.
Oh, they're gonna see Max miming, which was we kind of just did an Exquisite Corpse text with all the librettists and Max, and we imagined a world where Max was on an open mic, a smoky open mic room, bringing her little setup, and yeah,
with the best looper ever.
With the best looper ever, yeah.
I've achieved my dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, tell us a little bit more about just the dichotomy of writing for Jasmine in Jasmine and then writing for Aaron in Herzog. And, you know, you really explored the extremes, I think, of the voice and of the styles. And I'd love to hear you just sort of offer a little bit of insight into getting that opportunity.
Oh yeah, sure. Also, just to say that, you know, besides the specific, like, I think Max is totally right about, like, you know, what does my voice do? What is special about my voice and what it brings out? And Steve was like keeping us on track about that the entire time. But also, what each singer was really, really good about talking about was like, this might work for me, but it might not work with another singer, or like just like talking about it in the context of like how this translates to other singers. And so that was something that was like really present for Aaron and Jasmine and Max, who are all like super, super special vocalists. And they can do a lot with their voice. And so like when writing for them, it was about also like, okay, what are they excelling at? What from their like 3-song demonstration can I like pull apart and tease? But then what is going to translate in that actual score that will want to make other singers like know what to do with it once they get it. So I think a lot of that exercise was like how to notate those ideas clearly, like all the specificity of vowel, like and with Herzog and Jasmine, the two challenges, Herzog, like we want, like same with Jose, choose a little bit of text and like drill the idea and see what came out of there. And then with Jasmine, it was like the opposite. It was like a tiny bit of musical material over this, but like the pauses between them being stretched out and being elongated to like think about one small thought, but being delivered over just like 12 or 13 very simple, very drawn out lines. I think that kind of talks a little bit about those.
Steve, will you tell us about what's coming up next at CNV in January?
Yeah, we actually get, you know, in the original Composers in the Voice cycle, we would end the year with a 6 scenes program where each of the composers and librettists would collaborate on something 15 to 20 minutes long, either, you know, a single scene or a set of scenes or maybe a standalone piece, but a chance to go back and revisit 3 of the voices that they had, you know, had the experience of writing for over the course of the year. Now 6 scenes happens in January as opposed to, I don't know, right now, October at AOP. And what that allows us, that kind of extended timeline allows us, has been a little bit of a workshop of each of the pieces that we did not too long ago at AOP. A dive in, a chance for the composers and the librettists to pull the pieces apart, put them back together, workshop the, you know, rewrite them, and then come back in January with a kind of, you know, like, you know, semi-staged presentation with piano. So you'll get to hear 6 new pieces. Each of the composers and each of the librettists will be represented on this program, and 15 to 20 minutes from each of them. What I was, you know, really enjoying, Gabrielle, from hearing Ave Maria is now seeing how it fits into your scene, you know, and how in some ways it's a culminating gesture in the scene that we'll hear in January, and how that affects the way we hear it. So, you know, new dramatic pieces, all in the works, and I'm really excited that 6 scenes gets to be now a really kind of important step in the development of each of them.
And we're excited too. So I hope that everyone out there will join us for our 6 scenes performances on January 8th and 10th, 2023. And we're so excited to start working on them in about a month and to prepare them for you. So thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to our 4 amazing composers here, Gabi, Anya, Paul, and Jose, as well as to the rest of our fellows, Jisun Choi, Tataya Sinutok, Isabella Dawes, Troy DeFore, and Raquel Acevedo Klein, also featured tonight. Thank you to Max for representing our singers, and thank you to Jasmine, Aaron, Mario, and Kofi for their performances. And of course, thank you to Ron Robinson, Kelly Horsted for joining us on the keys as well. All right, thank you everybody. That's all the thanks that I have, and we'll see you next time.